Welcome to Pure and Simple, a Camp Deer Run podcast. We hope you'll be encouraged to keep on the path as you follow Jesus each day. The pure and simple truth I want to share with y'all today is once again about God our Father and one of His qualities that you can see from the very first page of your Bible all the way through to the last one. It is awesome. I think this quality of God is put on display at camp, and it's certainly a huge part of why camp is so special. And so the pure and simple truth I want to share with you today is that God is creative. God is amazingly creative. It is unbelievable. I think it's really cool that His creativity shows His power. It makes it to where His glory is easily seen when you look at what He has made. The detail, the variety, the intricacies of His creations blow me away. I can remember, I think it was 2 summers ago, at the new mess hall, out on the deck, one evening during staff orientation. I think it was some women staff members just was like, "Oh my goodness, look at this bug." And I go over there and it was a moth, but it was the most beautiful moth I've ever seen. It was black and white and kind of striped. It was really awesome. Picked it up and really just examined it, looked at it closely, and it's a moment that stands out as kind of like a really campish moment because there's so many times during the session that I'll kind of see that little moment happening, or looking back through pictures, through the years, I find campers looking at a little frog they've caught in the creek, or you're looking at a sweet gum ball or the biggest leaf they've found out in the woods, and you can just see the detail in what God has made, and it is amazing. He is so creative. So I want us to just think about this for a second, just kind of be in awe of God and His creativity, and think about how amazing that is when you really look at His creation and think about all He has made. It is mind-blowing. In Psalm 104, it says in verse 24, "How many are your works, Lord? In wisdom you made them all. The earth is full of your creatures. There is the sea vast and spacious, teeming with creatures beyond number, living things both large and small." I love that verse. In His wisdom, He has made them all, and the earth is full of His creatures. I had no idea how many fish were in the ocean really up near the shore, including sharks. But a couple years ago out in a kayak, just happened to decide randomly that, hey, I want to get a fishing pole and a license and do some fishing in this kayak. And I truly had beginner's luck. Was very, very blessed that first trip, because ever since then, I'm just catching catfish. So I got to be doing something wrong. But that first time, it must have been 10 different kinds of fish out of the water, including a little shark. And it was incredible to see all these creatures just right there up by the shore where we swim, which was also a little bit like, man, that's, I guess not terrifying, but just kind of shocking to me. I didn't realize as we're playing in the water, all the fish swimming around. Pretty cool. But it's just amazing. Anywhere you go, you can see the vast array of creations that God has made. Genesis, the Bible begins the very first verse talking about God's creativity. It says, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." God is a creator. He is creative. Towards the end of that chapter, and says, "So God created mankind in His own image. In the image of God, He created them. Male and female, He created them." In one verse, one sentence, the word "created" is listed 3 times. God is a creative creator God. He is amazing. Romans 1:20 is another verse that stands out, and it's kind of a classic camp verse in my mind. And in Romans 1:20, it says, "For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, His eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made, so that people are without excuse. So that's what I was saying a minute ago, that his creativity, what he has made, shows his power. It displays his eternal power and divine nature. It's clearly seen. Just look around. Wherever you are, look at the trees, look at the birds, whatever it is that's nearby that God has made. It's clearly seen how amazing and good our Father is. You know, a couple other things that I thought about, pretty cool to think about, is Jesus, when he's here on earth, he showed creativity in his miracles. Specifically, I'm thinking about healing people. He rarely healed people the same way. I mean, just off the top of my head, I can think about Jesus. He spoke some things. Sometimes he said, take your mat, get up and walk. Other times he said, hey, your sins are forgiven, and the person got up and walked. He spat in the dirt one time and made some mud and put it on a blind man's eyes, and he was healed. All kinds of different ways he healed people. Rarely the same. He's not boring. He is so creative, and it's so awesome to see that and to know that he is at work in our lives in the same way, and that we may see how he is working in someone else's life to heal, to bless them, to help them, and he's at work in our life in a different way. But each of us have this special and unique relationship with him because God is not boring. He's so creative and so good. And we can imitate God and find joy in being creative and creating ourselves. So some of you may say, I'm not creative. And like compared to, people that are really artsy or musicians or, songwriters, whatever it is, maybe not. But God has instilled in all of us the ability to create and to be creative. And so, I would look at someone who works on cars and say that they are creative and a creator. They're able to put things together and make it work. I think of kids. If you ask kids, young kids, if they know how to draw well, I think most people, when they're young, most children, would claim they can draw really well. But something happens to us as we get older. We start to look at what others can do, and we start to kind of kick dirt on ourselves that we're not able to do, what the Disney artist could do creating something. And I'm not an artist. That person's an artist. But God has given us the ability to create, and it's a part of his image. It's a part of who he is. And so I really do think, push back on that just kind of natural draw to decide that you're not something. And instead, find the things that you love and enjoy doing that are creative or that are involved in creating or making something. I think there's some extreme joy there because it's really emulating God in that quality of his. It's one thing I love about camp, and I have come to love all different parts of this at camp, but we want our staff to be creative and to really be a key part of creating the camp experience for the campers. And so staff members coming up with great cabin activities or fun things to do at out camping, or making canteen extra fun one night with a silly theme or whatever it is, that creativity draws people together, brings people out of their shell, and it is so much fun. I also just think about watching kids at crafts be creative. This summer, we had just air dry clay, and seeing kids take that and shape things and make things out of it. It's like really basic creativity, but it kind of unlocks something within all of us. I enjoyed getting a little of that, and you just kind of want to see what can you create. And I think it's because it's a part of God's nature that has been instilled in us as well. I want to close by just kind of pointing out a couple things. One is that God has been creative in his desires and purpose for your life. He made you the way that you are, and he wants you to follow him and be ready to jump in for the things that he is preparing you to do for his kingdom. And it's not going to be exactly the same as your neighbor, as the person in your youth group, as someone else in your house even. God has a special purpose for your life. And don't hear me wrong. It's not that I'm saying, and it's going to be amazing. There'll be no difficulties if you follow God. That's not what I'm saying at all. Just as we talked about in a previous episode, God is faithful. God is also creative. And he is going to utilize you and your gifts and talents that he has given you or helped you develop to utilize those for his kingdom and to bless others and to bring him glory. And when you do that, you will have joy and find the wonderful, unique relationship with him because you are utilizing what he has made in you for his glory. Mentioning that, I want you to know God is not boring. He is creative and enjoys the unique relationship that he has with each one of us. I taught a class before summer at church and had some different people come in, and I would ask them questions about their relationship with God and how they spent time with him. And it was awesome and I didn't even see this coming, but each person was so unique. It was so good to hear from these different people about what they enjoy doing with God. And I know that God enjoys that time with them. And it was different for each person. So that includes you. He's not looking for a cookie cutter relationship. It's a real relationship with you, and it's special, just you and him. God is creative, and I want you to hear this as I close. He created you. You are a special part of his creativity. You're a special part of his creation. You are special and important to him because he made you. So I want to encourage you this week, wherever you are, whatever is going on, to draw near to him, to recognize and just look around. Look at creation. Go in your backyard. Go on a walk in a park. Look at what God has made. Slow down and thank him that we can see and remember his glory and his power by just looking at what he's made. And we can know that he has created us unique and special, and we're important to him. I hope that encourages you, and I challenge you to get out there and be creative, imitate God in this special way. Know that he loves you, and you're a very, very special part of his creation.